You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities, and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dini Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hello guys, and welcome to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. This is a pre-recorded show, our episode, so I can't wait to deliver this one to your inboxes and have you check out the playback. We have a special guest, and you won't be disappointed with the things we will be talking about and discussing. I could promise you that. So yeah, I'm just super anxious to deliver this one, guys, to you. So stay tuned and keep watching your inboxes. All right. Excuses are the sure and reliable building blocks of failure. Whether you find yourself offering them or accepting them, they are a definite warning flag that you are veering off of your course. Well thought out actions make up the currency of effectiveness, whereas excuses are the currency of futility. Every setback has a reason. Every mistake has a reason. You can either accept those reasons and learn something positive from them, or you can turn them into excuses and thereby allow them to defeat you. Each excuse is a small defeat, and they can add up quickly. The best strategy is to avoid them. Explain yourself, but make no excuses. Listen to reason, but accept no excuses. Experience life without excuses. Your own effectiveness and the effectiveness of those around you will skyrocket as a result. Take that from me, dini-mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music, or Inside the Book, Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline, or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. Or people think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we ever aired.
Imagine being paid for using social media. WebTalk is changing the way we connect and get paid. WebTalk is the social media platform that pays you. With WebTalk, you can promote and manage all your social media sites from one place. It includes features like user search, media galleries, referral tracking, magic newsfeed, meet video chat, classifieds, and much, much more. WebTalk is booming with over 4 million users. Manage, connect, engage, get paid. No matter why you network, you can do it better with WebTalk. You can connect with your friends, colleagues, and the world. Use WebTalk to consolidate, organize, and syndicate everything. Imagine your perfect networking app. You will find it with WebTalk. It's time to take back control of you. WebTalk is the best free way to communicate and create success. To learn more, visit myfreewebtalk.com. That's myfreewebtalk.com.
All right, again, you are listening to Vigilantes Radio Podcast, and I'm your host, Dini-Mussolini. Our special guest tonight is an author by the name of Roland-Sato-Page. He'll be here discussing his latest book, Eating the Forbidden Fruit, and what makes this book relatable and accessible to all. We are the people who have dedicated their weekdays and nights to music, movies, news, business ventures, education, technology, art, you name it, even books, and just talk in general. From our incredible writing and promotion on our new Facebook page. By the way, if you're on Facebook right now, scroll on over to Vigilantes Radio and slap that like button. So what we do is we go and we ask the questions, finding out the inspirations and the aspirations of our guests and find out why they do things and how they do them. So that is our quest. That is our mission, and that's what we do. So with that, let's go ahead and invite Mr. Ronald on. Hey, my man, how's it going?
Hey, how you doing, Danny? How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
Doing great. I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri, man, and just dealing with the pandemic and things like that. I was listening to I love the music, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, you have some diversity. I heard like a different type. I like that. I'm a fan of reggaeton myself.
Okay, definitely, yeah. I like music, man. Nothing gets better than that.
Yeah.
For sure. So, man, once again, thank you for joining us, or joining me, rather, to talk about books and other things that's related to your story. So I appreciate that a lot, man. And so for those who will get this interview and they want to know who you are all about, give us a rundown, give us an idea about who is Roland-Sato-Page.
Okay, basically, I'm a newly freshman author. I really don't consider myself an author as of yet. I think that's something I need to earn. Let's see what the future holds for me. I'm just a humble man who wished to share my story. I wrote this story. I have lupus. So, I still sometimes combat depression every once in a while, especially now. Having lupus in the pandemic, it's like I'm the number one target of this this disease. But I started writing to manage my depression and my anxiety. So therefore, what better way to do that than write a story on my life, something I won't have to do much research on. Everything is right there You know, for me, and not just that, it's for me to archive and leave this story documented for my legacy, for my kids and the generations to come to know where we came from. You know, my parents, both, my father's from Puerto Rico, my mother's from Japan, military family, came here to the United States and made a way. Man, but, you know, back incredible. To the book, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying that's incredible.
But back to the book. I wrote the book basically 2 years ago. My mother passed away, and I really slumped into a deep depression, Dean. And I'm a artist at heart. Prior to writing books, I was a tattoo artist. But lupus kind of threw a monkey wrench in that. You know, I lost my hand-eye coordination and my motor skills in my right hand. So, you know, my family said, hey, look, you know, you're artist. You know, you may not be able to do the visual art realm anymore, but you can definitely get into the literary game. And that's what I did. I wrote my first novel. It's called Eating the Forbidden Fruit. And it's basically based on my previous life as a St. Louis City police officer. And I was convicted of federal crimes due to my childhood affiliation. And people who I considered family and I grew up with since when I first moved to St. Louis. And, you know, it's a tricky thing being a law enforcement officer, Danny. When you take that oath as a peace officer, regardless of who it is, if you have any knowledge on any crime, it's up to you to report it or act on it. If you have knowledge on it, and let's just say like somebody like my case, it was a family member, and you may try to protect them, and it could be the simple thing of like, hey, look, stop doing this, get rid of it. You're involved in that conspiracy, and those who read my book, you know, it's like that. I was convicted of a drug trafficking conspiracy, you know, so it'd be interesting for the readers to read how that unfolds, and it'll help some understand how the conspiracy thing works. You know, you may not ever touch drugs or anything, and you can be really involved in that conspiracy.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off that, that's been like one of the I don't want to say missed, but it's been like one of the obvious situations, you know, especially if you grow up in that in that environment. Definitely. Like especially for me growing up, you know, we have affiliations. And those affiliates become officers, and it's like, what do? You know, and you know, even growing up, I had a choice to become an officer, and I was like, you know, I know way too many crooks, so I better take that path.
That happened to me when I was on the department. I was on the department for like 7 years. You know, when I got out the military and things like that, law enforcement love military personnel. So, you know, I got the job. I could be out somewhere and, hey, you know, some guys would say like, hey, you know, Officer Page, and I hear them whispering he wasn't always a cop, you know. And I think that was one. I had a magnificent lawyer. I probably could have beat the case, but I felt that they had too much. Being in law enforcement, knowing the law, they had too much stacked against me. I could have threw the dice and maybe beat it, but I felt from my previous conduct when I was young, you know, I felt, man, I had it coming, bro. It was like karma, man, if you understand. And I knew when I became a police officer, probably 2 years into my career, that this wasn't for me. I knew because, you know, I was always an artist, man. Before I even started as law enforcement, I was a graffiti artist. You know, I went, brought a airbrush kit, and I was airbrushing apparel and things like that. I worked at a mall here in St. Louis. And, you know, when I went back when I joined the military, I went back to the East Coast and kind of perfected my craft because I was stationed there.
Gotcha.
Came back to St. Louis, you know, retired, came back to St. Louis, and you know, it's just, art is really escape from all the woes, and I love it. Every form of art. I can really just see, like, even St. Louis, you know, I can drive through some of the most deprived areas and I can see beauty in certain things, man, especially being a graffiti artist. I'll look at something that they may think is like a piece of, it's a rundown home, and I'll say that's a crazy canvas that I could just make beautiful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you have that eye of an artist, definitely.
Yeah.
So is that something that you're looking to get back into as well, being a graffiti artist?
Well, more in a mentorship way. I own a tattoo shop here in St. Louis.
Okay.
And it's family owned. It's ran by my sons. Like I said, they stepped into my shoes when lupus took me down. Yeah. And we do other things, like we have it's called the Pearl Enterprise, but it's a tattoo shop. It's been in existence since 1996.
Nice.
It's a recording studio. My son is a former hip-hop artist. You know, he charted Billboard 4 times independently. Wow. His name is Young Roe, and he was signed to Nelly. And
okay.
But we do other things, retail. We own a lounge. I won't say nightclub because it's really more for the mature crowd. It's more of a lounge for over 30. It's really like most of my clientele is 50, but everything is like structured under family.
Yeah.
There's all opportunities for family. Yeah,
that's dope. That's real dope. I took my hat to you, man.
I appreciate it, man. It's just hard work. You know, we're not our definition of success is not money-based. It's about being able to provide for your dynasty and leave something. Rather, like I never demanded that my kids get into tattoos or be an artist. You know, it's just something that they looked up to their pops and they said, "Hey, I want to carry on the legacy." You know, they all went to college. Some didn't graduate, some did. But at least they had the opportunity I had to leave something to them. And they can leave it to my grandkids or whatever.
Yeah. That's dope. That's real dope, man.
That's important, man, for being a man now, man, because so many men are absent in their kids' life. You know, and sometimes it's you know, Dini, it's not always the man's fault. You know, majority, because I was brought up that a man, you know, he holds the fiber together, the family together.
Right.
But sometimes, you know, it's just the kids get caught up in a bad situation, a relationship, a sour relationship, and, you know, that affects the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just glad that, you know, I've been fortunate just to have a good marriage, be a good father, and a good husband.
Yeah. And all those things are super important to the growth of your family and, you know, breaking generational curses, and teaching those important values to younger men.
I wouldn't be able to, I wouldn't be able to get through the situation I went through if it wasn't.
Yeah.
There was some crazy things that went on, man. You know, the feds, when you deal with the feds, they come at you. And you know, they tore my family up, lost everything. Now, I'm not saying that it wasn't my fault. Me being a man, I accept what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I heard you say, you know, it's everything happened for a reason. You know, and it's how you redefine yourself. I was listening to everything you said. It was so true, man. You know, it hit me in the heart because you basically said everything that I wanted to say, man. You put it so perfectly.
Thank you.
But if it wasn't for my family, you know, I wouldn't be able to. The loyalty of my wife, man. They tried to, you know, during my investigation, they tried to. Me being a tattoo artist, you can imagine I deal with females, right, Dean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I'm tattooed, and it's nothing. It's strictly professional. They were taking pictures of me, like maybe in the club discussing, and you know, you might have a woman. You know, you're in a club sometimes, and they'll come up, "Hey, Roland, do you remember this tattoo?" And they may show the breast, but I'm telling you, it's strictly professional. There's nothing, you know, deviant about it. And they were taking pictures, man, go back showing it to my wife and things like that, man.
Yeah, trying to get her to flip on you or turn against you.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, but she saw through it. She saw through it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So is all that in the book?
Yes, all of it is in the book, man.
Wow.
You know, actually, the guy who turned me in was my nephew.
What?
Yeah, man. He actually came in I let him come stay with me. He let them in. They wired my home. He had a wire talking to me, man, and kind of prompting me along to make the package to serve me up to him to suit, I guess, his motive. And that was to get out of a case that I had nothing to do with. Nothing to do with, no knowledge on, or things like that. Yeah. But towards the end, you know, he involved friends of mine that I grew up with, and I knew it could get ugly. And I stepped in, and that's where, you know, they had me conversations like de-escalating things, saying things like get rid of it and things like that. Now, you can imagine being a police officer, you know, I got dragged into that. But, you know, I'm not going to, I knew for me to end the conspiracy right then and there, without serving up anybody, I had to take it on the chin, and that's what I did. You know, I admitted my guilt, and I said, like, I have nobody to tell on. I said, it's my fault. You know, otherwise you guys wouldn't have me here. You got me. Okay, let's end here. I'm not going to say anything about my friends, guys who I grew up with, who would never judge me. If I asked for anything, they would give it to me. And they would say, like, bro, you don't have to touch anything, but I'm going to get, like, if you need it, brother, I would give it to you. Loyal people.
For sure. Yeah. Man, this sounds like a great movie. Have you thought about, you know, turn it into a movie or even an audio book?
I am right now working on an audio. So,
nice.
But the movie, I don't know, man. If it comes, it comes. We'll I don't know. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah,
you know, I hate
story.
doing interviews. Before, like maybe 2-3 months ago, I wouldn't do interviews, and one of my management, which is I like to give her a shout, Viola Gay, who those who might not know, that's Marvin Gaye's sister, and the author of My Brother Marvin, that's who helped me really put the book together and things like that. She just told me, like, look, you're going to have to get out there and talk to people, engage, get on those platforms, especially now with the pandemic. You know, I would like to thank you once again for giving me this platform to share my story, man.
Yeah, most def. When I was reading some notes from your book, I was like, I just got to talk to this guy, man. If we have to reschedule to the end of the year, we gonna keep rescheduling.
Yeah, man. You know, and that was because you know why? Because my health with the lupus, it's really every day. Every day is a new experience, and I don't know if any of the listeners have lupus. People ask me, you know, how does lupus feel for me? Because, you know, almost all lupus patients are different. They have similar symptoms, but most of them have different. And I don't know, Dini, you ever took a Benadryl, man?
Yes.
You know how you get that, it's like surreal, like you're in a dream, halfway asleep?
Yep.
That's how I wake up every day, man. I got to motivate myself to get up.
Yeah.
I have to motivate myself to get just, even get up, get the day started. It's a struggle, but you can deal with it if you got a good family structure.
Yeah.
Good surroundings, you can get through it. Anybody can get through it.
Yes, sir. So, with COVID-19, hitting us right when, the peak of promoting your book started, was what they call book tours in the plan, where you go sign books and talk publicly about, your story. Was that in the plans?
Definitely. Everything canceled, man. I had engagements to major cities. I was supposed to go to Chicago for an interview, go speak at libraries, these book clubs, and all that just canceled, man. Just, I still, in my basement, I have all promo material. Just sitting there waiting. One thing I will say, I got to say this for the listeners, the book is called Eating the Forbidden Fruit. It's by me, Roland-Sato-Page. You can find it on Amazon, or my website is www.roland-page.com. That's ROLANDPAGE. But I had 500 physical copies, and I've just been blessed. Within 3 weeks, I sold out of the copies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I'm in a lupus group. I'm in a lupus support group. A lot of my lupus brothers and sisters, lupus warriors, that's what we call each other. They purchased the book. From all over, man.
Yeah. Wow. Sold out.
Sold out.
Time to get the next batch, right?
Yeah. I'm doing that now. What's so crazy, like you said, this pandemic, man, like the mail, everything is to a standstill. It's like a lot of disruption. What one positive thing I got out of this, Danny, you know what, man? I know how to budget now. I know how to budget, bro.
Yeah. Most def, yeah. Me, I know how to shop for food now.
I tell you, man.
Man, I know about essential purchases.
I don't know how you eat. With me having lupus, I used to eat anything, man, swine and all that, but now I don't.
Yeah.
Like I really watch what I eat. Now, I'm not a vegan, but I do, maintain a disciplined diet.
Okay. Yeah, health as well.
Yeah. It's not, but you know what, man? It's not always cheap to eat healthy.
Oh, it is not cheap at all. And it's designed that way, so a bunch of us can't do it, because we can't afford it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they want to feed us from the dollar menu because it's cheap and easy,
you
fast.
See it now?
Yeah,
you see it? Like the fast foods is so competitive that everybody has a dollar menu.
Yep.
I knew it got competitive when fast food started delivering.
Yeah.
I said, okay, it's getting serious now.
Yep. So, we have a lot of beginners, or people who wanna become authors, or even are playing with the idea. How long did you sit on the idea before you actually put the pen to the paper, so to speak? Actually,
when I was locked up, I wrote journal, if you could say, like a diary, and it was fairly simple. like for beginners, I my suggestion for me, what worked for me is to write about something I know I have knowledge on, because sometimes if you're an author and you write on something that you have no knowledge, that you didn't do your research, you'll get caught out on, and it can really taint your whole project.
Right.
So it was simple for me and so easy. It was so organic that I did something. I wrote on something that I love, passion. And like I said, my mother passed away. So me sitting back writing a book, it reminded me of some of the things, the great moments that me and my mother shared. Sometimes when you get older, you forget.
Yeah.
But when you're sitting there writing and that flow, everything's flowing, you know what? I forgot when I was 7 years old, when I was sick, and I remember when my mom picked me up, a little Japanese woman, no more than 4'9", and I'm 8 years old. I know I had to be probably like around 90 pounds, and she picked me up and carried me
man
to the restroom, to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, that was just amazing for me to remember that, and to be able to show my kids, look, this is your grandmother.
Yeah.
That's your grandfather. Here's your uncles and your aunt, and it's just amazing that I don't have to sit down and tell. They can read about it.
Yeah.
Even my great grandkids, if I'm not here, they can read about it.
That's right.
Yep.
That's something that can transcend time and be passed down.
Definitely. It's archived, man. It's an archive, and it's all documented.
Yes, sir. So,
I got short-term memory loss.
Really?
Yeah, from lupus, man. Like sometimes, like even now, that's why I don't like to speak, because sometimes I'll pause. That quick, I can forget.
Wow. So I can imagine that makes life difficult for you a little bit.
It does, because I used to be a detective, man. I could remember things.
Oh wow!
I could see somebody. I remember. I could see somebody on the street, and I tell them their name, and they're like, "Man, wow, you remember my name?"
Yeah.
But I've been blessed. I as a police officer, when people hear about police officers convicted, they think about unethical acts. Somewhat like if you're violating somebody's constitutional right, if you're shaking down drug dealers for drugs. When I put on that uniform, I did my job well, so I don't feel like a corrupted cop. Police corruption, I don't feel that way. I do feel like a man who failed his career because he didn't have the qualities to be a police officer. I just can't sell out my people. That's my family. I just can't do that. Yeah, I'm sure everybody has thought that. Watched a police, Chicago PD, and say like, "Hey, could I do that? If I ran across my childhood friend, would I lock him up?" Or I'm sure everybody asks that question. Well, if you read my book, it's like you putting on the uniform with me. You in the police car with me. You see some of the things, how unethical, unsavory acts can actually lead to criminal acts. Sometimes police officers get caught up in those what I call a God complex. I can get away with it, and what that can elevate to a different level, man. And it's a lot of unsavory things. But I will say this: I harbor no ill will to law enforcement. I still got mad respect. I got friends. I can't talk to them because I'm a felon, but I can associate with them. But from a distance, we're still friends.
Yeah.
And I do believe there's more good police officers than bad, because if it was more bad, it'd be very chaotic.
Yeah.
You know, the chaotic. It's just the few bad ones are making it hard for the good ones, man.
Yeah.
It's like no trust.
Yeah, it's a crazy time to be an officer.
It's crazy time. It's like a lot of them now with the pandemic.
Yeah.
They don't want to pull nobody over.
Right.
My wife is still in law enforcement.
Oh.
So that was crazy because when I got locked up, she was in law enforcement, and you could imagine she found out by the news. But like now the mind state of a lot of law enforcement, they scared to pull people over.
Yeah.
Here in St. Louis, I don't know how it is where you are, but St. Louis is more crime now. People thought the pandemic was going to decrease crime. There's more crime here in St. Louis. Well, tensions are high now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a financial crunch here. Even the ones who are in the hustle game, you know, among the drug trade, it's a crunch. You know. Oh
yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's not there. The availability is not there. So you got guys, you know, what's the new? I guess selling drugs is not the new come up. It's robbing a drug dealer.
Man, see, you going down a rabbit hole, man. Because I keep hearing all this music about running off on the plug, robbing the plug. I'm like, what are you singing about? That is a death sentence.
That's crazy, man.
Like you're encouraging people to just really give up their life.
And then you got women who setting up the plugs now, man. And like it's like they're proud of it.
Yeah,
There's
man.
situations where like now it's kind of cool. It's not so much fear to be a snitch.
Right. Yeah, that too. That's a new one.
Man, this is a new era, man. This is a new era, bro.
Yeah, these kids are crazy.
Oh man, very much so.
They are crazy. Open, don't care, reckless.
You know, I'm a 60s baby, so you know, sometimes the old heads. I remember when I was young, the old heads. You know, you say like, look, man, you're older. I'm gonna give you that respect. Mm-hmm. And the old heads would say, like, you know, look, I'm not scared of you, or, you know, you whippersnapper or whatever. But now, man, you know, I stay out the way of these young guys. Because I know it's going to end in one or two ways, like not good for either of us.
Yeah, I'm like you, Roland. I'm trying to go home. I ain't got time for it.
It's so crazy, you know, because I'm trained to defend myself, to defend others that's close to me. But me being a felon, I can't carry a gun, but my wife can.
Mm-hmm.
So I still live in North St. Louis. I live because my mother had property, and I don't want to leave it abandoned. Because here in St. Louis, you know, they vandalize it, take all the raw materials like the copper and things like that. So until I can sell it. Where are you?
Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. You know what? Now, like even St. Louis, Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, those are the hubs.
Yeah.
That's where most of the crime is now.
Yep.
It's not like Memphis no more. You be like Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah.
Omaha.
Yeah.
Man. You know, it's crazy. You know, that's
Yeah. But
how you like it down there in Jacksonville?
It's pretty. Man, I grew up here, so I'll just tell you now, I don't have any worries. Especially at the point of life I am now. I just moved completely different, but you know, this is home. This is home. I live outside of, you know, the where I grew up, but I still visit occasionally.
Right.
And you know, wouldn't trade my experiences for the world. They kind of mold me who I am and kind of shape me to into why I think the way I think nowadays, and that's how I raise my kids. You know, so they don't have to experience those things or have to figure it out, you know, the hard way, because, you know, we did that for them. So
yeah, that's a blessing, man.
Yeah.
That's a true blessing, and I respect you and I admire you for saying that, because I tell my kids, you know, I hear some young generation say, well, I just got to learn for myself. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why is that? You know, if we're trying to tell you as a father figure, as a mentor, you know, we did it. We walked it. We don't want you to repeat that.
All right, you know, you don't have anything to prove to me. You know,
No.
You don't have to become the man I am. No. Because if I had a choice, well, I mean, we all have choices, but if I was smarter, I put it that way, if I was smarter back then, I would have made some different choices.
You know, my father used to always tell me, be a better man than me.
Yeah.
So, you know, when that happened to me, I really, what hurt me wasn't just the thought of being taken away from my family, just letting my father down. But he used to always tell me, look, I don't ever want you to have a brush with the law. He had one.
Yeah.
At an age, you know, he went to prison for involuntary manslaughter because he ran a bodega here in St. Louis, and a young guy came in there and tried to rob him. He said he had a gun. It was a paper bag, but he really didn't have a weapon. My father, I told you he was in the military. He shell shocked.
Yeah.
So he killed he was like 19 years old. You know, he couldn't afford a attorney, so you can imagine how that went back then. You know, we're talking about this early 70s, you know.
Yeah. Gun laws
wasn't really exactly. So,
and especially if you were a color.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
any
you
color,
go.
Any color other than white.
Yeah, there you go, man. You know, it's just.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I let him down, and it's funny. It's in the book that the day of my trial, I had a dream that me and him was talking, and I asked him, I said, well, are you upset with me? He said, I'm a little bit disappointed. I asked him, are you going to be all right? Am I going to be all right? And he said, like, you're going to be all right. This is my sentence, the day before my sentence. So I said, so you don't think I'm going to go to prison? He said, I didn't say that. He said, as a man, you're going to have to make it all right. Do what you got to do. Now, this was a dream, but it was so real.
Yeah.
And I woke up and, you know, I did get smacked on the hand. You know, I had to do some time, but not like the prosecution one. They really wanted to make an example out of you know, a police officer convicted of crime, especially drug trafficking. Yeah. But the judge, the federal judge, he saw through it, and he said, like, I'm not settled on this case. Trying to give him this maximum sentence.
Yeah.
So, you know what happened then? On the day I was arraigned, when I got locked up, the next day I went in front of the judge, and without even hearing the case, the judge told me, because he knew some of the elements, right? Mm-hmm. He knew that I was a police officer because, you know, when a police officer is locked up, he has to be housed separate from population in case they have an ongoing case. And I was a detective, so I had a lot of cases. And he told me, he said, you know what, Mr. Page, if it was up to me, I would give you 20 years right now, man. I fainted in the courtroom, man. I kid you not, I fainted. My lawyer looked at me like, man, get up. You know, I can laugh about it now, but back then, no. But we use that as, because that judge should have never said that. So my attorney, who's a great attorney, he used that as a weapon against the prosecution.
Nice, yeah.
Which the judge shouldn't even been for that. He's supposed to be impartial, right? But hey,
right, yeah.
That just goes to show you. Oh yeah, that goes to show you how the judicial system is definitely non-biased.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely biased. I mean,
I always believe that. Yeah, sentences are carried out on emotions and not by circumstantial evidence.
Exactly. Have you discussed that situation that was in Georgia with the jogger getting ran down and the two guys in the pickup?
Yeah, no, I just heard about it. My wife was telling me about it yesterday.
Yeah. And, they were prior, the father was prior law enforcement. He was retired from law enforcement. And I made a statement on social media that you got tainted, unethical law enforcement out there who are using the law to execute people and get away with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's a sad situation.
Yeah. They trying to use this stand your ground or self-defense, man. Come on now.
Right. Yeah. Very sad.
I'm just hoping everybody enjoyed the book, man. I'm actually finished my second book, Skin Deep. Like I said, that's about the tattoo industry, the comical things of what it's tattoo artists, the temptations. You kind of got to imagine that we deal with different parts of the body when it comes to females. Sometimes you get women who get sexually aroused getting a tattoo, and sometimes you get people who enjoy pain.
Yeah.
But the tattoo industry is real personal, man. It's a lot of temptation. You got to watch yourself. It's another profession that you can really, if you don't watch it, you can get in trouble with it too. I know.
I can imagine.
Oh yeah, man. I know a lot of tattoo artists who got like drug addiction, with sexual deviant acts, things like that. It tore up a family, because the wife can get jealous and just all kind of things. Luckily for me, my wife, every step of the way that I built the business, and she understood I built this for my family.
Man, that's admirable.
Yep, and then you come in with humorous things like, can you imagine an attractive woman and you're tattooing her back, and she'll pass gas, man. That happens quite a bit, bro.
Oh wow!
I'm telling you, that happens quite a bit. If I can play you some of the recordings, man, of the questions people are asking, like how much is a tattoo? And I'll say, okay, what type of tattoo? A tattoo on my arm. Okay, what you want on your arm? A name? I'm like, oh my God. I said, I see where this conversation is going.
Yeah.
Well, that depends on the size and, what you want, how many letters. Oh, I wanted this big. I'm like, well, I can't see through the phone, sweetheart. It's just, man, it's really, you know what? You see all these reality shows. I was offered by Big Fish to do a black ink, and I turned it down.
Really? Why?
I turned it down. Because, for one, a lot of people, unless you're like the Housewives of Atlanta, some of these low-level reality shows don't pay much. And how you make your money is by being booked, torn afterwards. Yeah. Well, and we didn't want to do that. you know.
Right.
We heard the storyline. They wanted both my sons to be like sibling rivals. My oldest son, you know, just had a baby, and they wanted to try to expose like his wife. She's jealous. So he was like, you know, Pops, I got to be here for my own. I don't plan on torn away from my child, my son. This is an important part of his stage that he needs me. And I agreed. I said, like, you know, it's like opening more. They wanted to really touch on my past infidelities. And I said, you know, you're not about to open more wounds, old wounds for my wife.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not going to sell out for that. Yeah. Not for, you know, what is 10,000. That was for the season.
No.
That's what, yeah. And you know how it make it look like it's months. They shoot it actually in 21 days.
Wow.
21 days. And I had a good producer, it was a female. And she said, like, you know, I'll probably get in trouble, but I'm going to tell you this off the record. Just talking to you guys, because we went through a lot of interviews. She said, you just seem like a good person, you know, Mr. Page. She said, I really don't think this is for you. And, you know, I was very appreciative for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. All right, Roland, we are coming up on our hour.
Okay.
Let everybody know where they can connect with you online and purchase the book. Okay,
yeah. The book is available on Amazon. Remember, Eating the Forbidden Fruit by Roland-sato-page. My website, again, is www.authorrolandpage.com. That has all my social media information. If not, you can catch me on Facebook, Roland Page, or Eating the Forbidden Fruit. And that's it. You know, my website has everything you want to do. It has pictures. I think visuals are important, so you can really take that journey with me. You know, see me in police uniform and all that. Nice. And I like to thank Vigilantes Radio for allowing me. I enjoyed this thing.
Yeah, we enjoyed you as well, and hearing your story, and just having casual conversation, man, about real life stuff.
Yeah, it made me feel relaxed. Like I told you, I don't like interviews, man, but you'll be hearing from me again when I drop this other book.
Yes, sir. It's called Skin Deep. That's correct?
Skin Deep.
All right. Well, Mr. Roland Page, I definitely want to thank you again for being our special guest. We just wish you much success for the rest of this year. Stay safe, stay blessed, and we're praying for you.
You too, man. Stay safe.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to theradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay, but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word, because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.